Straight from the mushroom cloud, it's Nuclear Clown TV with your host, Dave. We're on the air! Nuclear Clown TV! Can you feel it? Can you feel the excitement in the air? You can! Don't you lie about that. Wrestling stuff. I talk a lot of crap about wrestling because it's been bad lately. For the past, 10 years or so. But things are looking up. They may not be looking up, but they're looking exciting. Yesterday, we had the big TNA and WWE going head to head in an all-out brawl, bashing themselves on the face with content in order to get ratings points. Bret Hart came back on WWE, and TNA, everybody and their grandmother returned. Hulk Hogan showed up, Jeff Hardy showed up, Ric Flair showed up, the Antichrist showed up, Jimmy Hoffa showed up and won the X Division title. It was chaos. It was pandemonium. Actually, I'm a little upset. My DVR... I have TNA and WWE both programmed into my DVR to record every week because I'm far too busy sleeping and touching myself to actually watch live TV anymore. So I kind of let my DVR handle whichever one it would record. So when I went to watch one, it was Raw. It had recorded Raw. So I went, okay, I'll watch Bret Hart's return, which I thought was pretty good. This show was lackluster, but I focused more on him coming back, and I thought they did a good job with it. More on that in a little bit. So anyway, after I watched Raw, I went on the internet and I looked for Impact, and I couldn't find it. I went on YouTube. Hopefully somebody will post it so I can watch it. But and I read what happened because I couldn't wait. I wanted to be good and wait, to actually see it so I could actually be surprised. But in this day of information, surprise is overrated. So I went and I read the show, and it seemed like they did a really crazy show and just really came out guns blazing. And I like that. I mean, that's really, really good. And I don't think WWE, judging from the show at least, they really took it seriously at all, I don't think. They had Bret Hart. Big deal. It's a big deal. But you have to remember, WWE has spent the last few years completely alienating most of the people who would give a shit about Bret Hart. They're playing towards kids. Whatever, that's fine. They got to do what they got to do. And the show's been silly as a result. But hey, who am I to judge? So them bringing back Bret Hart was kind of suspect to me. It's like, are they trying to, after all these years of just completely raping the carcass of wrestling fans, are they now trying to kind of lure them back, at least for one night, just so they can, not have any competition? I thought there was nothing else. It was just Bret Hart. I mean, a title change would have been nice, even though we all know titles mean nothing in wrestling nowadays. But it would have been something, and nothing really happened on the Raw. Bret Hart was used in the guest host role, and I thought he did a really good job. They didn't overuse him. Actually, I thought they used him probably a little, not enough. He was only in, as far as I can remember, 3 segments, but they didn't do anything corny with him. He wasn't in the back hanging out with like those mindless, brainless Bella twins who just stare at each other and look whatever. I'm glad they didn't do anything like that. Nobody wants to see that, but they did have some skits but they didn't have anything to do with Bret. Yeah, they like the other guest hosts. I'm glad that they didn't do like a Bret Hart match, like a Bret Hart hockey hard-on diva battle royal or something stupid like that. Because whenever they have a guest host, they give them stupid matches. They say like, "Oh, this is a match that Timbaland made up." Yeah, right. Okay. I'm sure he sat there all week crafting the rules to his match on Raw. But they didn't do anything like that with Bret Hart, which was good. It looks like they're doing the Bret Vince feud, probably going to culminate at WrestleMania. Listen, I don't want to see Bret Hart wrestle in the ring. I mean, it's like Ricky Steamboat wrestled, last year, and he did fine. He was in good shape, but it's still, even under the best kind of conditions, sad to see. Real sad to see. And I was hoping that Bret would come in, do his guest host thing, and they just send him on his way, and that would be great. I mean, it's a cool moment, not everything has to end in a match, And I really thought Raw was going to go off the air. I guess I'm naive. I really thought Raw was going to go off the air without an incident, but then Vince kicks Bret, and it was. I thought it was well done. I really did. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't crazy. Nice kick in the balls. Bret doesn't have to fall down or take a bump or anything. And okay, if you're gonna do it do it this way. So, kind of happy with that. But I was really sort of disappointed and upset that that I didn't see TNA, because that seemed like obviously the show to watch, judging from just all the stuff that happened. And I know that I haven't seen it yet, and I'm sure it's poorly written. I'm sure a lot of it was silly, but just reading the amount of people that showed up, I mean, it would just be really entertaining to watch. And I'll see it eventually, sooner or later. But yeah, for the first time in a really long time, it feels kind of good to be a wrestling fan or someone who's interested, and to know that things are kind of getting shooken up a little bit. I hope TNA does well, and I hope there is more of a direct kind of competition between the two companies, because it sounds like a really risky move. I mean, I don't know anything. I know that TNA is backed by Panda Energy, who has like a shitload of money or whatever, but they must be paying these folks quite a lot. Now, I don't believe that everybody who I read showed up on this, like Flair and Hardy and all that stuff. Probably only a couple of them are actually going to be recurring. I really doubt all of them are going to come back, to Impact. I don't even really know if Jeff Hardy's going to be actually wrestling. They might have just said, all right, Jeff, here is a big potato sack full of meth. Would you come work with us for one day, please? We need ratings. That wouldn't surprise me at all, especially the potato bag of meth. That really wouldn't surprise me. But even that, like Hogan is enough for me to really kind of take interest and know that TNA is really being serious. I hope they shape up and get their writing straight and all this stuff, because man, it sucks. But yeah, for it to be dead inside and cold and alone for the past so many years with wrestling, now even like this slight bit of hype is like a feast for the soul. It feels really good, and I'm excited about seeing what these two companies are gonna do. It seems like any kind of, oh wow, I'm looking forward to that, is a godsend right now with the state of wrestling. And yeah, Ring of Honor, I'm sorry, I'm still not feeling it really at all. I think that I wouldn't really care too much about mixed martial arts if wrestling was kind of giving me what I wanted. And that's sort of why I think that I've been getting more into it lately, because wrestling's just been crap, and they are similar to an extent. And if you give me compelling characters and competition, hey, I'm watching you. It's a simple formula, and I think that wrestling, both companies, have lost it as of late. TNA, they'll bring in somebody like Desmond Wolfe. They'll put him right in a match with Kurt Angle. Great. I'm sure he's great in the ring. But you got to kind of make him a character and give him his own little thing and give him his own identity, and then kind of send him off to get into scraps and fights and stuff like that. And they don't do that anymore. They just kind of say, all right, this is Desmond Wolfe. You know he's Nigel. You know what he's about. Just cheer for him, okay? Or boo him or whatever, because he does this. And I wish that they'd get back to kind of making the character, because for me, I think that's the most important part. But I don't want to get talking on that again. This is overall a positive video, so be positive. because wrestling is hey, even if it's not going to be good, it's going to be interesting. And you know, sometimes you can't put a price tag on interesting.